Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fascinating, the connection between, well, our inner world and how we actually perform out there. We're using the daily trading coach, mastery and resilience, as our guide. Based on the sources you showed, our mission really is to give you a shortcut to understanding something profound. It's this idea that peak performance isn't just about knowing your stuff technically, it's fundamentally about mastering your own head, how you think and feel, especially under pressure. And surprisingly, these ideas stretch way beyond just trading floors.
That's absolutely right. The daily trading coach at its heart is built on this idea: to succeed consistently, you yourself have to become your own best coach. It really emphasizes using specific, concrete tools to manage emotions, your mindset, your behavior. And the book makes a really strong case that psychological strength isn't just nice to have. It's actually the main driver of success, not just in trading, but, in pretty much any demanding field.
Okay, so how does it actually equip you to do that? To become this self-aware, resilient person? It sounds like it breaks it down into key areas.
Exactly. It outlines 5 crucial pillars, you could say. Each one tackles a specific part of your inner game. The first one, maybe the most fundamental, is change becoming your own coach.
Change itself.
Yes. And the real kicker, according to the book, isn't just doing something different. It's first making a solid, unwavering commitment to change, like really deciding. What's quite insightful here is how it reframes emotions. Things like fear or maybe pride, they're not just things that happen to you. They're seen as potential catalysts, powerful ones actually for transformation, especially when you connect them sort of viscerally to your goals.
Catalysts. How does that work? Fear as a catalyst.
Well, imagine the fear of failure. Instead of letting it paralyze you, you could use it to, say, fuel meticulous preparation because you've committed to succeeding, right? That fear becomes energy.
Interesting reframing. Okay, so that's the first pillar. What comes next?
Second is self-awareness and reflection. And this isn't just, vaguely knowing yourself. It's an active thing, daily. The book suggests actively affirming your strengths every day, like literally reminding yourself what you're good at. And crucially, keeping a psychological journal.
A journal, like Dear Diary.
Not exactly. It's more like a diagnostic tool.
Yeah.
You use it to connect specific events, maybe a market move or a specific interaction to your emotional reactions and your subsequent behavior. So, for example, you might notice through journaling that you consistently get overconfident after, say, 3 wins in a row. That's a pattern. And you'd only really spot that through consistent, honest reflection.
Right. That makes sense. Seeing the patterns, not just the isolated instance. So what does this all mean for someone maybe not involved in trading? What stands out to you about these first 2 concepts?
Well, the universality, really, that commitment to change, that applies to starting a new habit, fitness routine, anything. And self-awareness, understanding why you procrastinate or why you react defensively in certain situations, that's gold for anyone. The journal technique, for instance, helps trace those triggers and responses in any context. It's about understanding your personal operating system.
So understanding your triggers, which leads nicely into the next point, I imagine, coping with them.
Precisely. The third area is emotional resilience and coping strategies. This is where the book gets very practical. It offers concrete techniques, visualization, positive self-talk, specific stress management tactics for handling anxiety and pressure. And it's quite direct about common pitfalls, things like overtrading because you're feeling greedy or performance anxiety kicking in, or maybe just ignoring those little gut feelings that something's off.
Ignoring the gut feelings. Yeah, we all do that sometimes.
We do. And the key insight here isn't about never feeling stressed or making mistakes. Resilience, in this view, is about recognizing those moments quickly, accepting them without self-judgment, and having a systematic way to bounce back. A process.
A process for bouncing back. I like that. Okay, what's number 4?
Fourth is environment and behavior. This one's really interesting because it highlights how intentionally changing your routines, even your physical space, can disrupt autopilot behavior.
Autopilot behavior, like just going through the motions.
Exactly. Those unconscious habits that can totally derail your focus or lead to mistakes without you even realizing it. So the idea is to consciously design your surroundings to support your goals. For instance, deliberately creating a positive, focused workspace, even if it's just a corner of a room, can significantly boost discipline and your mental attitude.
Yeah, that environment point definitely resonates. I mean, just decluttering my desk makes me feel clear. Like clearing physical space clears mental space.
It really does. It sends a signal to your brain that this is a space for focus, for intention.
But what about someone whose environment is, well, genuinely chaotic. Maybe they travel a lot or live in a tiny apartment.
Oh.
Is this still practical?
Oh, absolutely. It's less about having the perfect setup and more about intentionality. For a chaotic environment, the book might suggest micro adjustments. Maybe it's a specific playlist you only use for deep work, or dedicating just 10 minutes where you consciously eliminate all distractions no matter where you are. Or even a simple ritual before you start a challenging task, like 3 deep breaths. It's about creating internal structure when external structure is lacking.
Internal structure. Okay.
Yeah.
Small, actionable things. I get it. So environment matters. What's the fifth and final area?
The fifth is learning from loss and strength. And this is huge. The book argues pretty strongly that a loss isn't a failure, it's data. A meticulously documented data point, ideally.
Data, not failure. That's a powerful shift.
Isn't it? The insight is that every single misstep, every setback, can become a blueprint for your next success. If, and it's a big if, you analyze it systematically. The method suggested is quite specific. Document the losing trade or the failed attempt. Detail exactly what lessons you learned. And then, crucially, outline concrete action steps for the future. This completely shifts the perspective. It frames people, even traders, more like entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs, how so?
Well, successful entrepreneurs are constantly leveraging their strengths, managing risk proactively, and, critically, learning and adapting from things that don't work out. It's the same mindset, constant iteration based on feedback, even negative feedback.
Okay, wow. So looking at all 5, change, self-awareness, resilience, environment, and learning from loss.
Mhm.
What does this all really mean for, the average person listening, someone not trading stocks?
It means these principles are incredibly versatile. Managing uncertainty, we all do that. Making decisions under stress, daily life, coaching yourself through a tough project or a difficult conversation, or even just sticking to a personal goal. It's all there. These are life skills, really, framed through the lens of trading.
And it sounds like the book grounds these ideas in some solid psychology.
Yes, it does. It draws quite explicitly on methods from established therapies. Things like psychodynamic approaches, understanding unconscious patterns, cognitive therapy, how our thoughts shape feelings and actions, and behavioral therapy, practical steps to change what we do. These aren't just abstract theories, they're proving tools for making real, lasting changes in behavior and habits, which, ties right into thinking critically and questioning our own assumptions, something that's so important today with all the information coming at us.
And it seems like people who read the book really connect with that practical psychological depth. The feedback mentions clear motivational writing, lots of those little jewels of insight you mentioned. It sounds like it's designed to be used, not just read.
That's the overwhelming sense, yes. People find it very actionable. Now, there is some feedback, it's fair to say, that parts can feel a bit repetitive or that it's quite a dense book.
Ah, okay. So maybe not a quick weekend read.
Probably not, if you want to absorb it properly. But interestingly, even those who mention the length or repetition often follow up by saying that the benefit comes from that consistent application. It sort of reinforces the core message, doesn't it? The value isn't in skimming it, it's in the deliberate, maybe even repetitive practice of the principles.
Right, practice, not just theory. So wrapping up, The Daily Trading Coach sounds like much more than a niche trading book. It seems like a really practical guide for anyone looking to master the psychological side of performance, decision-making, whatever their field.
Exactly. Embracing that idea of self-coaching, making reflection a regular habit, building that emotional muscle, these things can genuinely improve how you make decisions, how you perform under pressure, and ultimately your long-term success and even well-being in pretty much any part of life.
A powerful toolkit. Before we finish, any final thought for our listeners to chew on?
Maybe this. Given how central psychological strength is to success, think about this. How might consistently applying just one of these self-coaching ideas, maybe journaling, maybe reframing setbacks, how might that transform one specific area you find challenging right now? Just consider starting there. How could you reframe one recent setback not as a failure, but as data for your next attempt? It's a powerful first step.
Yeah.